Hello guys, back again talking about the thing that everybody's probably talking about today, and that is Amazon. And Amazon finally announcing Amazon Fire TV, which is basically their Android gaming console with more than that. Now, of course, they're not calling this a gaming console. It's kind of like they're more competing with Apple TV and Roku, and well, that's what they're playing it off. They're just a box on your TV to stream stuff to, but ultimately, this thing is also a gaming console. And today, the actual game controller for it is available for $39.99 on Amazon, along with the actual console itself. The Amazon Fire TV is available right now on Amazon for $99.99. You can buy it, of course, which falls in line with things like, of course, the Ouya, and of course, the other Android-based consoles out there. This kind of says, here is our fourth console in the big console race: Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, and Amazon. Because as much as some people may like the Shield, NVIDIA Shield, and some people may like, the Ouya, they don't have the power financially or distribution-wise to hang with the big boys, to hang with the big consoles. Amazon has that ability. Amazon did a lot of different things today. It wasn't just the console. It's a lot of things they did to solidify themselves in the video game market, not just their box. Why Amazon is more important than the other ones I talked about is Amazon has their store, which is used by a lot of people. You probably, living here, being around, traveling, doing what I do, delivering stuff to people, trust me, a lot of people use Amazon. Amazon has a lot of people who use that website, and there's some people who just use Amazon, nothing else. And they ship everything from Amazon. And for Amazon to release a console, and not only release this console, which of course does more, it allows you, of course, it has Netflix and Hulu Plus and those things, obviously, that are kind of you have to have on anything to compete anymore. And of course, it has Amazon Video, which you get unlimited to do unlimitedly if you have an Amazon Prime account. And again, if you already have an Amazon Prime account and you, instead of want to use your computer, and you don't have the app on your TV or something, or you just want a little box, this could be the box for them. And you can do music, and of course what Amazon offers can go on, obviously be done through the Fire TV. So if you like music, or you do pictures or whatever, this thing will do that. This thing is not just this. Of course, what console is a console anymore, right? They're all fighting for the living room. They're all fighting to be the box next to your TV in that room, to be the major form of your entertainment. That's what everybody's fighting for right now. This is where the big competition in the future is, of not just console companies, but tech companies and everything else. They want to be the main thing of entertainment in your room. And Amazon has a history of being really good of making their products better and adapting with changes. Like you talk about the Kindle. When the iPad originally came out, what did everybody said? The Kindle was dead. There's no way Amazon can compete with Apple, and Apple makes such a better product. The truth of it was, why Apple does make good products, Apple's product is meant to do a lot of things. And it wasn't just reading books, and the reader wasn't their focus, and so it wasn't nearly as good as the Kindle. And Amazon, what they do? They changed the Kindle, right? The Kindle's not just reading books anymore. You can do games and other stuff on it anymore. It's adapted. It's still around. It still does very well. And the main thing that Amazon can do that all these other people can't do is they could feature this thing on the front of their store and bring a lot of attention to it. Then when everybody goes to that site, they're going to see it, and they're going to notice it, and they're going to pay. They're going. A lot of people are going to be interested in it. Oh, what's this? This is made by Amazon. People I trust. I already have a Kindle by them, or I buy stuff from all the time. And Kindle, and this is what Amazon has the biggest power over anybody in the market right now, because they have one of the biggest in the world online stores, if not the biggest. They could see the market changes in the gaming field before anybody else, or in general in this field, because they sell the stuff. They can see if people are gravitating towards this, or people gravitating towards that, and they can make changes to the console quickly to adapt with the changes, where the other guys don't have that ability. They don't have the sales data that an Amazon has, and they'd be able to make changes quicker if they want to stay on top. Now I know you're asking, what are the specs to the Amazon Fire TV? Well, first of all, it comes with a remote control, of course. The controller is separate. It has 2 gigabytes of RAM, obviously to run the programs, and it has 8 gigabytes of internal storage, so it's not, has a decent amount of storage. It has a quad-core 1.7 gigahertz processor, and so processor's not bad. I mean, it's a nice processor for what this console is going to do. Now, of course, it's a little box. It's $99. It weighs 9.6 ounces, so really light. Well, one of the most interesting things to me is the gaming side of this console, because it was officially announced, something we all knew already, that Amazon has acquired Double Helix, and those guys have been on a roll with Killer Instinct, and obviously with Strider. Recently came out the new Strider. That's a company that's been on a roll. So now they had that to their people making games, and of course Amazon Game Studios. Now Amazon Game Studios is rather interesting how this whole thing is put together, because there are a lot of people that are obviously well known in gaming circles. Like, for example, the Portal designer Kim Swift is now on board, along with Splinter Cell designer Cliff Hawking, and of course Swift's role will basically be a secret senior designer, of course working on secret things that she can't talk about, and of course Hawking's role as a senior designer working on unnamed projects. They're obviously both working on projects. They've been there since February, along with, of course, Double Helix was acquired around that time. So Amazon Game Studios is not goofing around. They're coming in here. What Amazon could do with the Game Studios is they're the ones, out of all the other guys, who are going to obviously shooting to make real kind of games to make a real impact for their console. And this is where the Ouya and the NVIDIA Shield hurt, because they're really not making games themselves. They're relying on other people to make games. And when you do that, if that don't turn out good fast, your system is going to go haywire. The other thing that Amazon can do is they can build up hype around their game, because obviously they have the store. And Amazon, they are, again, what I consider the fourth console in the console race, because these guys can put the games together. Now it'll be interesting to see what they're looking for on this console. Obviously, buying Double Helix, it clearly looks they're not looking like, hey, let's just make more of these little itty bitty games you see on iOS and stuff. Though I think you're going to see some of that, or Google Play. They look like they want to make real games to compete. And obviously, they already are going to get like Minecraft, Asphalt 8. They're going to get NBA 2K14, and of course their exclusive Sub-Zero game, so which comes free So they're going to have a lot of stuff coming out early, and they're clearly not going for. Again, they have pull. They got Minecraft Pocket Edition on the console, so Sub-Zero comes free with the controller. So if you spend $40 for the controller, you get a game, which is like unheard of. But they obviously want you to have something to play. The average price of an Amazon Fire TV game will be $1.85. Paid games will be as low as 99 cents, though there will be free-to-play games on the console. So there you go. In one sense, they're a company that can make very AAA titles for the system, and they're a company that this is the advantage this console has over the big ones right now. They have the advantage of making AAA titles that, of course, the prices are close to prices of AAA titles. But because they're an Android console, and because they still kind of have that stigma of being, hey, this is kind of like a mobile platform tablet thing, they have the ability to also make the mobile games for this console. So this console could have a wide array of price ranges, from 99 cents, I imagine, up to the full-fledged AAA title releases, which is something that none of the current consoles, no matter who you talk about, are currently are doing that. Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo aren't going to have 99-cent current games, and the Ouya and stuff aren't going to have $40 games. So this is where this system could set itself apart for whoever wants to pay. So you want to get an expensive game, you could do that. You want to get a cheap game, you could do that. Again, getting Minecraft for Nintendo, which still blows my mind they don't have it. So, they got all that coming. And now Sub-Zero is actually kind of like, in a sense, it is the best way to describe this game is basically a tower defense and shooter mixed together. which has been done a lot recently, but that's what it is. Now, they did not just do, by the way, when you're talking about games, they did do something else today that kind of blew people's minds out of the water. So they did the Fire TV thing. Here's the games. But today they did something else. They also announced Air Patriots out now on mobile devices from Amazon Game Studios, including so this will be out on all of course on the Android and on iOS devices. It's a free to play, again, combines strategy with tower defense. And on top of all that, they also announced their Amazon's way of getting into the video game market. Because this was not just I know a lot of people are going to just talk about the console. They also launched Living Classics from the fledgling studio's first Facebook game. So Amazon has now just launched their first Facebook game on Facebook, let alone the fact. So we talk about coming in and making an impact. They've got different studios doing different things on different platforms. So it is amazing when you look at, in one day, they changed the gaming landscape. From being, they might be a player with a console, to being, hey, they got a console. Hey, they got important people working on their games. Hey, they have a Facebook game. Hey, they're going to have an iOS, and they're going to have a Android game. I mean, in one day, they did all this stuff to completely change, the landscape of what you think of them. And on top of all that, Halo novel writer also joined the Amazon Game Studios as director of narrative design. So the author was Eric Nyland, the author of several Halo novels, including Halo: The Fall of the Reach, and former lead on Microsoft Studios' narrative team. So they are getting, they're getting a bunch of important people, or people who know what they're doing, to come in and work. If they had just started the studio and got people like who hadn't been experienced in the field, you never know. But now they launched a console, they launched a controller if you want to play games. If you don't want for the console, you can play movies, music, all the other stuff Amazon does, or your Netflix or your Hulu Plus. The only thing it doesn't have is HBO Go right now, and then all these other games. So what do you think about this big, massive impact that Amazon made in the video game market today? It wasn't just their console or the announcement of the games or big games, obviously, like NBA 2K, Minecraft Pocket Edition, stuff like that, and the people they hired for Amazon Game Studios. But they launched the mobile game. They now launched the Facebook game. Do you think this is good for gaming? What do you think about the Fire TV? This Android-based console. Do you think this is finally the one that gives the run for the money, that finally has a chance to get the sales close to the other big three consoles? And I hope that when they start counting console sales, and hopefully they add this console into it, because I know they're going to, the way Amazon pitched this thing originally, and who they're putting up against, they're trying to pitch this as a box in your living room, but it's really a gaming console. And I really do hope that, and this is one thing that bothers me about, and I've said this before about here in the US, our monthly console sales, is they split handheld and they split up game consoles. If they were together, you'd find out, guess what, the 3DS is the number one console. I hope they would add this into the mix so we could finally see how far or how close this thing is to third or number one. So, are you excited for this console? Would this be something you'd be interested in buying? For me, they have important people, and it's interesting what they're doing. It's something I'm definitely going to keep track of I'm sure with a lot of other people in this Android console market, because at some point a major player is going to come out of this and make some noise. But also, would you buy this console? For me, it's cool. It's got a lot of stuff I want. $99, basically $100. Not rather expensive like the Ouya. It does more obviously than the Ouya does, or the Shield, because you can do a lot of stuff you can do on your console, the Netflix and stuff. But for me, it's what games they got coming out. Minecraft stuff are cool, and they are interesting. They're like, ooh, that's definitely a step up from the other guys. But we're going to wait for the killer game, right? And I think they are going to have one, because this is Amazon. Amazon's not going to sit on their toes like the other guys. And one thing I think Amazon has already shown, something that does, by the way, bother me about Microsoft, about first-party games. Microsoft only has a couple and doesn't seem to want to expand their first-party library too much, where Amazon understands something that Nintendo's done, obviously, and other guys. You need to expand your first-party games, because those are what are going to draw people to your console initially when it launches, or initially like the next console if this one does really well. And then the third parties will get people excited after the first parties, right? The exclusive first-party games are the most important at the launch of a console, because that's what originally gets you excited about a console. And to ensure that, you know what, we're not always tied to third-party developers. But anyway, I babbled along about 15 minutes on this subject. So what do you think about this, guys? I'd love to hear your guys' opinions. And like always, thanks for liking, subscribing, and favoring. I really do appreciate it. And I'll talk to you guys later.